Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMAT Metamaterials and the new 8K and 12A filings and what that may mean for the company going forward. We're also going to be looking at MMTLP and Wes Christian, who has been talking MMTLP, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be doing a quick review of the weekly watch list. Before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from CNBC. We can see close of play on the Friday, the Dow Jones closed down nearly 300 points and it was lower after the 10-year Treasury yield topped 5% for the first time since 2007. So not great news for the market. So the S&P was down 1.26% and also registered its first losing week in 3. So the Nasdaq Composite was down 1.53%. So in terms of the Treasury yield, we're looking at the 10-year the benchmark for the 10-year Treasury yield crossed 5% for the first time in 16 years. So obviously not great news for the market, but hopefully better going forward. So let's start by having a look at the 8K. So shout out here to Junk Savvy, who posted earlier that Metamaterials files SEC forms 14A and 8K announcing an annual meeting of shareholders on December the 11th, 2023 at 12 p.m. Eastern time, looking at a reverse split and offering on the agenda amongst other things. So we will be looking at that. So we're going to start by having a look at the 8K. So we can see here the 8K was submitted by Metamaterials, and let's have a look at the key items on this. So the first item here, 5.02, there is an amendment to the departure of the directors. So we can see here what the company are amending is a statement to say October the 16th, 2023, the board of Metamaterials have terminated the employment of George Palikaros from all positions of the company. So he has no formal association with the company anymore apart from being a shareholder, and Mr. Palikaros is required to immediately resign as a director of the date of termination, and Mr. Palikaros will also receive benefits outlined in his employment agreement in connection with this termination. So there is details of his employment agreement there, and Mr. Palikaros will receive everything that was stated in there. So there was another item, 5.03, and that was just a change in one of the company's bylaws, and with regard to a change in the fiscal year. And what they're saying here is they're also reducing the quorum requirements for meetings of the company's stockholders from a majority of the company's outstanding shares entitled to vote represented in person, and they're going to change that to over 1/3. Let's now proceed to have a look at the 14A here that was submitted by Metamaterials. So if we have a look at the key item at the top, it's a notice of annual meeting of stockholders to be held on December the 11th, 2023. So there is a web link there, so please go ahead and confirm your attendance, and you can attend if you hold shares of Metamaterials. So the key items here are: number 1, to elect 8 directors nominees named in the proxy statement, to ratify the appointment of KPMG in terms of the accountants, and I think the interesting one for all the shareholders here, number 3, to approve a reverse stock split of our common stock within a range of 1:5 or 1:35, and the ratio is going to be determined by the board. So the meeting is not going to specify the ratio. The meeting, you will just say either yes or no if you agree with that, and then the board will decide with regard to what it will be in terms of the ratio. So they're also looking to approve the potential issuance of shares to Lincoln Park Capital Fund LLC, to approve the amendment of the 2021 incentive plan, looking at increasing the maximum aggregate number of shares by 550 million, and number 6, to transact such other business as may properly come before the meeting if necessary. So let's have a look at the key details in terms of the overall shares, and we can see the number of shares outstanding. We have common stock just in excess of 37.29 million, exchangeable shares MMAX just in excess of 452 million, giving a total common stock of just in excess of 489.4 million. So in terms of the vote required for the directors, election of directors, they need a plurality of votes cast for the ratification of the accountants, a majority of shares, and for the approval of the reverse stock split, they're looking at a majority of votes cast. So you will have the right to vote, and if you wish to vote against this, you will certainly be able to. So let's now have a look at in terms of the impacts of the potential reverse stock split. So we can see here they're looking at obviously changing this. So the first option is let's say a 1 to 5, and if that happens, we're going down here. We can see from 489 million just to in excess of 97 million shares outstanding. If we go for I think that in my opinion the more likely outcomes are either the 1 for 25 or a 1 for 35. So if it's a 1 for 25, we're looking at just in excess of 19.5 million shares, and if it's a 1 for 35, which could be quite likely, we don't know, we'll have to wait and see, depends what happens on the share price, it's just in excess of 13.9 million. So if the share price before December, I think, gets very, very close to $1, there is also, in my opinion, a possibility that this may not happen. So overall, we're looking at some of the key details shared here, and let's see what else we can find. So what we're now going to look at is the security ownership of certain beneficial owners and management. So in particular, we can see here George Palikaros, he has just in excess of 34.1 million shares. We have Thomas Welch in excess of 44.629 million shares, and Lambert just in excess of 44.629 million shares also. But the interesting one at the bottom, Director Jim Fasaro, currently has no shares, but I'm sure that will change. And let's get a reaction here in terms of B West, who posted earlier. He stated, "Hey Jim, down 15% since you took the reins. No introduction, not a word from you or the board on why or what's happening next. Not a damn thing. But retail backs continue. Retail backs continue to be broken now on your watch. TikTok, you think this is bad? Wait till retail bails." So a negative reaction there, and that is certainly understandable. And now let's have a look at the impacts from B West in terms of sharing what we've already looked at. And he's basically saying it's also like these guys wrote this with the sole intent of decimating the stock. By the way, your tables are wrong. Probably best crossing the T's and dotting the I's in this, because you likely end up with a lawsuit and would hate for a mistake for this to cost you. So obviously there is an error here pointed out by B West, which we're going to look at as well. So before we listen to Wes Christian talking MMTLP, shout out here to Pete Sessions, who posted earlier, "I'm running for the Speaker of the House because I'm the only candidate who can unite the Republican conference and return regular order." What I have tagged into Pete, I have stated that if elected as Speaker, for the thousands of American international families who are victims of the MMTLP fiasco would expect you to use your position to issue the subpoena to FINRA and provide us with the audited share count. So hopefully Pete Sessions is able to do that, and we will obviously keep an eye on that. So let's now proceed to listen to what Wes Christian has stated earlier with regard to MMTLP.
The reason Congress is doing what they're doing, whether it's going to bear any fruit, I don't know, is because of the thousands and thousands of emails they've gotten from pissed off MMTLP shareholders who got robbed, who basically they stole money from, in my view. Just like I said on Fox Business, it's basically stealing, the simple version of it. So at the end of the day, the answer is unequivocally yes. In fact, double down on what you're doing. All your congressmen, all your senators, all your regulators, everybody, this MMTLP thing has been a very, very fruitful effort in causing more exposure, much like Overstock did. And
finally, if you'd like to get a copy of our daily stock alerts and also our weekly watch list, details are in the description below. Last week, 2 of the stocks that we called out included SASI, and I think that was up in excess of 18% on the week, and also we called out NFLX, which also went up close to 18% on good news with regard to earnings. So if you would like to get the next watch list, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.